the source of the Yangtze River, the cradle of life. It's January at the Tangula Mountain Pass along the Chumar River, and these Tibetan antelopes are enjoying the first rays of morning sunlight. They run swiftly and tirelessly, showing extraordinary vitality. Tibetan antelopes inhabit alpine meadows, favoring flat grassy areas near water. Their undercoat is extremely fine and soft, helping them retain body heat and combat the cold. But this also brings them unexpected misfortune. Hozil on the Qinghai Tibet Plateau first came to public attention because of poachers armed with assault rifles and the anti-poaching hero, Sonam Dorji.
当我听说了他的故事，一个人和18个头领的枪战，最后中弹牺牲，给我的震动呢非常的大。我们想活着的人，能为活着的人做些事儿，也为死去的人能够做一些事儿。
Yangtze was a key member of the 1986 expedition to raft the length of the Yangtze River.
以前的话只是热爱长江，拍摄长江和考察长江、探险长江，去揭示一些长江的神奇的一些东西。
Yangtze arrived in Hozil in 1997, inspired by his hero Sonam Dorji. With help from Zidoy County's Western Work Committee, he established the Sonam Dorji Conservation Station, the first of its kind in China, to take the forefront in anti-poaching efforts.
很多人觉得太难了，但是呢，我是说，再难，我还活着。
Yangtze began to establish his second nature conservation station at the source of the Yangtze River in 2012. This time, his concern extended beyond Tibetan antelopes to the entire ecosystem at the source of the Yangtze River.
我们呢，就是说以河流作为我们的一个保护的一个区域，这个里面呢，包括冰川、植物、动物这些考察，我们都会做。
在长江源头还有很多很多不为人所知的这些区域，甚至在我们根本没有搞清楚这个地方有什么的情况下，这个地方一些物种已经消失了。
Environmental protection requires contributions from everyone. Yangtze no longer feels lonely now that more volunteers are joining him at the source of the Yangtze River.
野牦牛碰上以后的话，千万要躲它，尽量躲。我们一起群科科西里，他就对我说：“哎，那个这野牦牛，你拍不拍？”我说：“可以啊，可以啊，可以拍啊。”我把照相机准备好，那就我们车往前开吧。一发动了，才发现什么呢？线在那儿扯，而且猛轰油门的时候，野牦牛就加速了，啪一挑，把这个保险杠破挑飞了。
真的好危险，
很危险，力量非常之大，但是趁机把车给推出来了。这个地方呢，野牦牛种群数量是非常大的。就是那个沙漠这地方，它有。每一个站在我面前的志愿者，他都是下了很大的决心，而且这个决心就是说我一定要为青藏高原的生态环境保护来做贡献来。
Thousands of young people from all over the country have gathered around Yangtze, bringing youthful energy to the source of the Yangtze River. This ancient wilderness is becoming full of life, Spring is approaching, and the annual migration of Tibetan antelopes is about to begin. The female antelopes will form herds and travel to Hozil to give birth. Once critically endangered, today the Tibetan antelope population has rebounded to over 300,000, bringing back the sight of thriving herds. In April, the source of the Yangtze River briefly bids farewell to the Tibetan antelope as a group of new guests arrives. The bar-headed goose, capable of flying at altitudes of up to 10,000 meters, is celebrated as the world's highest flying bird. They travel thousands of miles, crossing the Himalayas from the warm regions of South Asia to reach Banda Lake where they breed. Banda Lake, on the northern bank of the Tua River, the western source of the Yangtze, covers an area of less than 3 square kilometers. Despite its small size, it is home to thousands of bar-headed geese year-round. For many years, the population of bar-headed geese declined sharply during hatching season due to people stealing eggs and hunting the birds. Thupten Dampa grew up close to Banda Lake. As a mischievous child, he also would steal bar-headed goose eggs.
因为所有人到那个季节以后都会去捡斑头雁的蛋，而且这是一个季节性的美味的这么一个东西。后来被我母亲发现了，她就我教训了一顿，说：白色的生灵能活10000年，黑色的生灵能活1000年。但是你还没有出壳，你就把它吃了，所以说我的罪孽比较深重。
Thupten can still clearly remember his mother's disappointment. From that moment, the desire to protect living beings grew in him, eventually leading him to become an environmental volunteer.
青海省渔业监测站跟我们有一个合作，就是帮他们取水样，所以我们要去在沱河河周边几个点要取水样。弄过去以后呢，他们在那边做一些化验啊等等，收集这边的一些水生物啊什么类的，可能是研究这些用的。出不来了，找个车拖了。喂喂。
Highland trekking can bring unexpected challenges.
甚至有时候一天捞不出来，可能车子就扔着，人就找个牧民家或者附近从那里住一下，第二天再继续挖。
Along the way, he frequently encounters various highland creatures.
8只藏原羚，9、10、11、12、13、14、15，加上
这个16、17、18，好多呀！
Having witnessed rampant poaching on the vast grasslands, Thupten possesses a deep understanding of the crises facing this plateau. He watches over the Banda Lake area day and night, monitoring and guarding the rivers and lakes, collecting data on wildlife and watching out for poachers. He dedicates all his efforts to preserving this tranquil and primitive land.
我们是12年开始发起斑头雁的这个守护，从那年开始到现在，没有一个人再去破坏过那个区域。阿妈，我很想带你到班德湖看看现在斑头雁的情况。这个物种一直会延续，我还是相信白色的森林终究会活1万年。
For many years, Thupten and his fellow volunteers have braved numerous challenges to protect this crucial habitat for bar-headed geese, receiving support from the local government and guidance from research institutions. These beautiful creatures can finally fly freely at the source of the Yangtze River. The Yangtze River provides a rich water source for the ecosystem. Where water meets soil, wetlands form, creating an environment even more conducive to the proliferation of life. In May, the lush, green grass and gathering egrets signal the start of the breeding season for Milu deer. This is a male Milu deer. It fashions a crown of grass in hopes of attracting a female. His competitors watch intently in the distance. Only by sharpening its antlers can it stand a chance of defeating its rivals in combat. The victor becomes king, ensuring the continuation of his genes. The defeated must wait in solitude for another year. This is the natural law of Milu deer mating. The Milu deer is nicknamed Cebu Xiang in China, which translates as unlike four, for the species having the characteristics of four animals: the face of a horse, the antlers of a deer, the hooves of a cow, and the tail of a donkey. Native to marshlands in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River, in ancient times, the deer was bred by the imperial court for hunting, leading to its near extinction in the wild. In 1900, as the Eight-Nation Alliance occupied Beijing, the remaining Milu deer were shipped to Europe and the species vanished from China. The Dafeng Milu Nature Reserve in Jiangsu Province is the largest Milu deer reserve in the world, covering 78,000 hectares. "39 Milu deer were transported from the United Kingdom back to their ancestral habitat in the tidal flats in 1987, marking the start of a grand conservation project. Researchers at the reserve have helped the deer regain its natural habits in the wild through behavioral reshaping and breeding programs, helping expand the population. Thanks to the establishment of wetland parks along the Yangtze River, such as in Dafeng, as well as Tianzhou, Hubei Province, the Milu deer's habitat has significantly improved. By 2023, its population in China exceeded 10,000. This species, which vanished from China for nearly a century, is now rebuilding its ecological kingdom. In the height of summer, a chorus of growls rings out from the reeds. These are mating calls made by one of the oldest living reptiles on Earth. Right now, they are playing and frolicking in the water. In a month, they will welcome the fruits of this intimacy. The Chinese alligator, one of the smallest crocodilian species, bears features reminiscent of dinosaurs and other ancient reptiles. For millions of years, these alligators inhabited the wetlands and lakes in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River. However, as the wetland areas gradually shrank, they fled, becoming wanderers in the rice fields. Once widespread across China, Chinese alligators are now only found in the southeastern part of Anhui province. At the Chinese Alligator Nature Reserve in Shuangqing, Anhui, efforts are underway to overcome the challenges of artificial breeding. Deep within these wetlands, a team of researchers is searching for traces of these ancient creatures. Underneath a pile of cool, moist grass, they discover alligator eggs. In the past, the animals' eggs were often stolen or damaged, resulting in very low hatching rates. Now, they are being carefully collected one by one and taken to a new home. This is the alligator's incubator room. Over 90 days, the inhabitants of these eggs have been quietly gathering strength. The Chinese alligator, a rare species unique to the Yangtze River basin, is embarking on a new journey thanks to artificial breeding efforts. These hatchlings are energetically preparing for the day they can be released into the wild, their true haven. According to a 2023 field survey, 57 litters of wild Chinese alligators were monitored over the past 2 years, with 714 hatchlings. Their population is now close to 1,200, indicating that this ancient species is returning from the brink of extinction. The many wonderful bird calls in nature are poems without interpretation. September is the time for migratory birds to take to the skies. This is Jean Weigua, who is imitating bird calls with a whistle. He can mimic the calls of more than 100 different birds, a skill passed down by his father. Shanghai's Chongming Dongtan wetland is an important part of the Yangtze River wetland protection network. It is the last stop before the Yangtze River flows into the sea. For years, local people have relied on this shore. Some make a living by fishing while others catch birds on the mud flats. Locals call this activity beach running. Jean Weigua's family were traditional bird catchers.
到海边上，就一张网一放，离我人的位置呢，大概30米到40米左右，插几个假的标本嘛。那我就弄条绳子过来，正好可怕鸟过来了，什么鸟我就猜什么声音，我一猜，它下来找了。
As a stopover site on the route for migratory birds in the Asia-Pacific region and a habitat for overwintering birds, this wetland attracts millions of waterbirds every year. The Chongming Dongtan National Nature Reserve was established in 1998 for conducting research by capturing, marking, and releasing birds. Experts immediately sought out Jean Weigua, a renowned bird catcher.
保护区要捉蝶鸟是空年嘛，他们是捕不到鸟的。那呢，他们请我，你帮我捕蝶鸟。那捕蝶鸟嘛，我好啊。每年那季节了，要迁徙了，我就给他们捕鸟。你看牡丹，这牡丹。我捕到子呢，他们是空间人员呢，是把个鸟的翅膀多少长度，它的嘴巴是多少长度，腿多少长度，都记了好，像身份证一样的别着号码。
A beautiful ring. Let us a number.
132723. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Catching birds, conducting surveys, tagging birds with eco-marks, and then releasing them back into nature helps scientists better understand bird migration patterns and global climate change. Over time, Jean Weigua has realized the significance of his work.
Chongming 这块地国家这个生态岛，我这个去来我给生态岛了给鸟看不到呀，不行的对吧？现在保护了好了嘛，大家是给鸟们进去，大家多看看，大家过来老生活国家的人都过来看看，我们保护生态嘛。
Over the past 20 years, Jean Weigua has helped release more than 24,000 migratory birds with eco-marks. With his skills and sense of responsibility for the ecological environment, he is transformed from a bird catcher into a bird protector. Record shows that the Chongming Dongtan wetland has over 300 species of birds, with more than 70 species under first-class and second-class state protection. It is becoming a paradise for birds in the Yangtze River basin. It's October, and these black-necked cranes are preparing to fly southward. They are the only cranes in the world that grow and breed on plateaus. Every October, they fly in formation over the mountains and head to milder climates for the winter. When the weather warms up the next year, they return to the source of the Yangtze River to nurture new life. Furbu is about to retire. This will be his last time watching over the migration of the black-necked cranes in an official capacity.
黑颈鹤我们藏族人心目当中是个神鸟，所以说呢，我们特别尊敬它。
The Yangtze River, a tributary of the Yangtze, flows right through the heart of the Longbao National Nature Reserve in Qinghai Province. The meandering streams, lakes, and marshes create sandbars and islands on the grassy beaches, making it an ideal habitat for the cranes. Furbu first came here more than 30 years ago. He used to be a dancer in an art troupe, but now this 10,000-hectare reserve is his stage.
要把万叶集背上，干粮背上，所有的都背上。42公里，22个店要走完。当时保护站只有3个人。我们最苦的时候，把帐篷搭在湖里，白天晚上保护鸟蛋。
Clean water is a crucial criterion for black-necked cranes to choose their habitat. Protecting the water source means protecting all the life that depends on it.
人保护的水，最后要流进长江。如果是污染了，我们这边自己也不行了，所有的。 有生力的都不行了。
Furbu discovered an injured bird during his lake patrol. Years of companionship with birds have made him a skilled avian doctor.
人家给我起的名字叫鸟人，不就一个鸟嘛，是吧？鸟有啥看的嘛？虽然鸟不会跟我交谈，但是我天天知道这个鸟在干什么。我大清早一进来，我首先就要先看一看它们，我就把窗户开开，赶紧听听它们的声音。第一个黑颈鹤的时候呢。 养了1年半，第2年我才放飞。1个礼拜，我天天赶到那个河边，他晚上又回来，我早上又赶，晚上又来，最后还是飞了。
Patrolling lakes and protecting birds are tasks that have dominated Furbu's working life. Although he's set to retire, he does not expect this will be his final time watching the migration of the black-necked cranes.
我能记得每一条河有几个湾，每一条路上有几个坎，每一年飞回来的黑颈鹤有多少只。 我想着退了休以后，我绝对回来，我决心要来。只要身体允许，哪怕干到70岁都可以。
Winter is the dry season at Poyang Lake, with biting cold winds and desolate scenery. This lotus field, which covers about 133 hectares, is located at the southern end of the lake embankment. Zhou Haiyan is extremely busy in December. She developed a connection with this lotus field several years ago due to an unexpected discovery.
2016年底的时候，当地的农民告诉我们说，我们那儿有很多白色的大鸟，有将近1人高。抓着机器我就过来了，结果真是被震撼到了。天上飞的，眼前看到的，藕田里落的、降落的、喂食的、打闹的，全是白鹤。
The Siberian crane is under first-class state protection in China and is listed as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Every winter, almost every Siberian crane worldwide embarks on a journey of 5,300 kilometers from Siberia to Poyang Lake. However, due to continuous changes in hydrology and ecological environment, finding food in Poyang Lake has become increasingly difficult. In desperation, they often fly to the outskirts of the lake, where they will eat lotus roots.
如果是你人工来采藕的话，是可以，它会留一些种子在这里。但是白鹤来吃的话，它不管的呀，就是它从田埂里面冒出来的这个莲藕，它都要把它给扒出来吃掉。
As more Siberian cranes flocked to the area, the lotus fields faced complete crop failure, causing anxiety among farmers. They decided to switch to growing rice instead.
因为我们知道，就是鄱阳湖里没有吃的了，白鹤才会出来的。那如果说这一块藕田再没有了，那这些白鹤怎么办呢？所以当时没办法，就是我们就赶紧大家凑钱，能凑多少凑多少。所以当时的2000亩的藕田，我们就凑钱只租下了其中的500亩。
Zhou Haiyan initiated a public welfare campaign called Saving Siberian Cranes, assuming a dual role. During the busy farming season, she works as a lotus farmer, planting lotus roots with friends in the fields. When the Siberian cranes gather, she becomes a photographer, capturing the wonders of the avian world through her lens.
其实这个鸟跟人类是一样的，它有它的性格，它有它的喜怒哀乐，它有它的家庭。成鸟哪怕再饿，每天早上飞过来的时候，它就埋头的挖这个莲藕，挖完了以后，它递给小鸟，等到小鸟吃饱了喝足了，小鸟去玩的时候，去打闹的时候，它才开始自己吃。这其实跟我们人类对待自己的孩子有什么区别呢？其实是没有什么区别的，我觉得。
Over the years, Zhou Haiyan, who is known as the mother of Siberian cranes, has drawn attention to bird habitats by publishing photographs of the cranes. More people have learned about these precious birds through her work and have joined the conservation efforts. Now, with the support of the government, those initial 33 hectares of lotus fields have been expanded into a crane protection area, covering more than 65 hectares. A Siberian crane town built on this foundation is also in the planning stages. In 2019, the Siberian crane was officially designated as the provincial bird of Jiangxi. The Yangtze River is home to countless wild creatures and has been a constant companion to human civilization. Every drop of water nurtures life on our planet, and the response it receives is majestic.